What's going on, everybody? It's Falchion with you once again. And once again, we are here for the Tuesday night league race here at the MSR. For those of you not in the know, that's Max Speed Racing. With me, of course, is the Evil Scotsman. Um, how's it going today, Evil?
Yeah, not too bad. Not bad at all.
So we are in Japan today, which is awesome. Actually, a track that I've always kind of liked. It's a tough track, but uh, very long straights. And very fun for me. What do you think of the track?
Yeah, it's quite a nice flowing track. If you get that nice flow around it, it's definitely one of my favourites to drive on. Um, I've been on this one in an F1 car on this year's game, and it's a lot trickier than normal though. So hopefully a lot of these drivers have put in that extra practice to know what curbs they can touch and what ones they really shouldn't.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised to hear that the surprised to hear you describe the curbs that way. I took a few laps in the Mercedes pace car. That's showing on the stream right now, and I was actually able to utilize some curbs that I wasn't really expecting to be able to. But of course, I'm driving a much larger, heavier car. Um, where do you think, in your opinion, these drivers are going to have to really watch out for these curbs?
The last chicane seems to be problematic, but not only that, you've got the S bends in the first sector as well. Sector 1 seems to be the issue that I found with the F1 cars. So, yeah, I think they're going to have to make sure they get the right lines through Sector 1, and they're obviously going to need a perfect line through the last chicane onto the last corner.
Gotcha. So I was looking at the scores, the timing sheet, or what is this called? The standing sheet. Thank you. Sorry about that. Um, and I did a little bit of math, not too in depth. I don't think it's really time to go that deep yet. But as it stands right now, the top six drivers are all mathematically still able to win it, and I'd like to run through that with you real quick if you don't mind. So,
Yep.
so number one is CJ with and he's in the lead. He has 262 points, as you can see on the screen now. He's 85 um, in the lead of Cotton. If CJ would, and we're gonna look at it this way for all of them for maybe a couple weeks. But if CJ doesn't win anything, scores no points for the rest of the season, and each of these drivers takes a win each for the rest of the races in the season, it will end up like this. If Cotton, as he stands, wins from now on, he will win by 90 points. Websy will win by 69 points. Huggy Bear would win by 56 points. Rogue would win by 43 points. And BXTN would win by 8 points. Um, Now, there's going to be, of course, a big mix-up in all of that, and you're not going to have any of these drivers just running away from with everything, or it's not likely, I should say. But as you can see, it's mathematically possible. Who do you think is sitting in with the best? What two drivers would you say are sitting in with the best chance at this? You knowing everybody's driving style and what they can do, how they can perform.
I'd say Mr. DJ is in a very good chance of staying where he is, because I've not seen him make many mistakes on the track. Um, Obviously his results show that, so if he can keep it cool in these last few races and make sure he's finishing at least on the podium, I think he's got that in the bag. But you can't rule Cotton out. I mean, all it takes is a couple of bad races the DJ's point of view, and either Cotton or Websy could come along and you know, they could be back in the game. I mean, this has potential to go to the final race if DJ makes any mistakes on this.
So yeah, it's definitely gonna take DJ not making not making too many mistakes, I should say. He's got a little bit of room to play with as it stands now, but I don't imagine he even wants to take that chance. Wants to keep putting those wins in. As these guys are already out on track, and we'll switch over to that right now. Right now we're looking at CJ in his Alpha Romeo, I think that's what he's driving, yeah. And he's already put in a fast lap of a 1:29.43. You said you did some practice laps here. What was your best time?
I don't think I actually. I can't remember if I actually got a time on the board or not. Can't remember. I mean, a 29 does look good.
So,
I've had a bit of an off. It looks like Rogue, Rassi, whatever you want to call him.
yeah, pretty deep in the grass.
Seems to be cutting
Really
the grass
mowing that lawn with this expensive car right now. As he steps back on track, he's on the medium tires. Seems to be a strategy here later in the season where these drivers are hopping onto the medium tires to start these races. How do you feel like it's been working out for them?
Yeah, I think all the drivers are hoping to put the harder tyres on to get deep into the race and have that extra speed maybe for the second stint. But I mean, it is a big risk because if you get involved in any instance of having off and you've got the harder compounds on, you know, it could really ruin that strategy because then you're going to have to put the softer compounds on. And if you have an off or an incident in the first few laps on, say, the hard compound tyre, you're going to have to put the mediums or the softs on, and they're not going to go at the end, so that then puts you onto a two-stop strategy. So I could see why they do it, try and go long into the race, but it does hold its risks at the same time. So, but careful driving and making sure you don't get tied up in any incidents.
So anyone who's a fan of Formula One knows about the more recent incidents here. Do you think that this is a track where these guys can drive pretty comfortably? Is it wide enough? Is there enough space to pass, in your opinion? So anyone who's a fan of Formula One knows about the more recent.
There's enough places to pass. You do have to be careful where you pass. I mean, there's a lot of corners on this track that you wouldn't want to make a pass on.
Guys can drive pretty comfortably.
One of those being 130R. I mean, you really don't want to throw yourself in the outside of your car going through 130R. That's a high speed corner, and as far as I'm aware, that's foot to the floor pinned. So, but I think we could see a few late breakers going for the final chicane at the end of the circuit. If you can go later on the brakes alongside somebody there, you could send one down the inside and potentially get an overtake in there.
I'm glad you mentioned 130R. I was thinking about that when I was doing my runs in the pace car, and I was thinking, is there anyone that you feel in this league that would be quote unquote brave enough to attempt a move in that corner, knowing that it's flat out? It's got a decent width, I guess, but like you said, it's really not a place at that speed. At those speeds, you really don't want to. Most people don't want to try to make a pass there. Is there anyone that you think is kind of really out there enough to make an attempt? Knowing that it's flat out, it's got a decent width, I guess.
Off the top of my head,
but like you said, it's really
not really sure. Potentially.
Most people don't want to try
Websy, maybe Cotton, but then maybe even Mr. DJ. I know I have went around that corner. I have thrown it down the outside of somebody before. I think it may have been Courtney Goblin, and we did manage to come around the other side. But I mean, what you're really needing in that situation is respect for
Right.
both cars. But even at that, you're taking a massive risk. I mean, if you've got the respect for the two drivers going into a corner like that, it's not impossible. I mean, I still remember, I think it was an F2 race, I think it was me and yourself going flat out
Yes.
side by side through Eau Rouge at Spa and coming out the other side, and we never touched because the respect was there. So I'm not going to say it's impossible. I would say it's taking a massive risk if you want to throw it down the outside of 130 Arlo. Because if that car runs wide and you're on the outside, you've put yourself there and you could end up getting either contact put into the wall or having to run exceptionally
Right.
wide, which will lose a
So
lot of
you
time.
mentioned some of the veterans of the league, Websy and Cotton, and then you also mentioned CJ, who is leading the championship right now. These guys do race with a lot of respect, a lot of skill, and a lot of speed. So it will be interesting to see if they are up against one another during this race going through 130R. If they will make that attempt at a pass through there. These guys do race with a lot of respect. Watching Websy right now, I think he's starting a fast lap on the medium tires during this race going through 130R.
As he's coming up to a Haas that looks
Yep,
like a
yellows.
ahead.
There's the Haas. He passes them by. There's another yellow flag. Watching Websy right now, I think he's starting but I don't see anything. It may be cleared up by now. Websy's car is looking really planted on these medium tires. Yep, yellows. There's the Haas. He passes
Yeah, I
them
believe
by.
he's
There's another yellow flag.
put in a purple first sector, possibly.
But I don't
I'm not
see
sure if I'm
anything.
getting
It
that
may
right
be
from
cleared up by
my
now.
my
Websy's car
graphics
is
here or
looking
not.
really planted on these medium tires.
That may have been somebody else, I'm not sure.
Down through Spoon, making his way towards 130R now.
It's a bit interesting. Let's see if there's a lift here.
Not even a hint of a lift. And it looks like the car was exactly where he wanted it to be through there. Towards 130R now. As Websy jumps up into P3 with a 130.1. Not even a hint. Chip Van, that's not a name I recognize. Do we have someone new this week? It looks like the car was exactly where he wanted it to be through there.
Chip Van has been with us before. I believe he runs in the reserve
Gotcha.
reserve driver role. He actually comes from the Sunday night week that Rassi runs.
Very
So,
cool.
Same with Crisp as well. They both come across with the Sunday night week to reserve for us. You never know, they might even want to join us.
Oh,
on
that's
a full-time
cool. That's
seat
really
limit.
cool. Crisp and Chip, huh? Very cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rivalry with I believe it's Chip Van, Crisp, Twiglet, and Millard for the Sunday night week. So
That's cool.
see if that rivalry spills into the Tuesday
That's
night.
cool. Always love to see rivalries as long as they can keep it clean. And both of these drivers looking really good. Chip just went into the pits. I'm watching Crisp now. Coming up on the hairpin. That's cool. Always love to see rivalries as long as they can keep it clean. Very carefully modulating his gearing so that he gets no wheel spin out of the hairpin back there. I'm watching Crisp now.
EXTN puts himself into fourth, but then Courtney comes and takes that off him. So
very carefully modulating his gearing so that he gets no wheel spin out of it. Just checking out the Huggy Bear coming out of a spin, trying to recover from a spin right now. Just checking out the Huggy Bear coming out of a spin, trying to recover from a spin right now. Everybody looking really good around here right now. I'm just flipping through cars, seeing if anybody's like really sawing at the wheel, if they're getting too much loss of grip through anything. We did see a couple of cars go around, but it seems to be on outlaps that's happening, so you kind of got to blame that on cold tires. Just flipping through cars, seeing if anybody's like really sawing at the wheel. CJ is on the soft tires. It would be kind of weird to me now. It's weird because it would be normal to me, but right now, seeing how these drivers have been doing this, putting together these strategies for the past few weeks, it would be kind of surprising that he wouldn't be starting on the medium tires. Kind of weird to me now. It's weird because it would be normal
I
to
think
me.
he potentially might be just out to cover his up, just in case somebody takes that top from him.
Gotcha.
We do have a few people out on softs on the track.
Very nice. He'll be really happy about that. Last week had a beautiful drive. Was very impressed as CJ puts in a 129.118 this time rather than his 120. So just a tad bit faster, but stretching his lead by a little bit, trying to cement his pole position. Had a beautiful drive. Was very impressed as CJ puts in a 129.118 this time.
Jewel.
Yeah.
How you pronounce it?
Just a tad bit faster, but
I'm just gonna call him Daniel because I know that's who it is.
P2. Wow, what a
P2
drive! What a lap! 129.7. Letting CJ know that he's in it to win it tonight. These guys are normally near the front of the pack at the start of races. Daniel, as you call him, usually has suffered some bad luck in these past weeks. Hopefully, he gets it to the end with a great showing today. These guys are normally near the front of the pack at the start of races. Daniel, as you call him, usually has suffered some bad luck in these past weeks. Hopefully, he
I
gets
believe
it
the
to
next cars we're going to get times from is going to be the two Mercedes, Chip Burn and Chris.
And what?
I believe everybody in front of them's on slow down in laps.
I'm watching Chip now and paying particular attention to his front suspension. It seems to be really loose. Is that a setup that you would go with, like a looser front end?
It might work for the curbs if you're running
Chip now
loose and maybe a bit soft on the suspension to let you run up these curbs.
His front suspension, it seems to be really loose. Is that a setup that you would go with, like a looser front end? With a 129.8.
Chip Burn not managing to improve. Did he improve? I'm not sure if Crisp had an off there or if he just decided to abort the lap. I think the last person on track, I'm not sure if it was a Huggy.
Yeah.
As he runs wide there, I'm not sure if he'll have a slap on the wrist for track limits here. He did go outside that white line. I think the initial reports that I'm seeing is we're looking at a dry race here this evening.
Yeah. That's going to be really good for everyone. Really good for us. It's going to be about the skills as Huggy does get away with it and puts it in P3.
Wow.
That was great. Great run there, Huggy Bear.
That was a good lap. I thought for sure that
really good for everyone.
the FIE might have hit on the track limits here, but maybe he was off the throttle and didn't
Right, what's going on, Jimmy? Glad you could make it. Ace Guy, glad you're back. Glad to see you guys here. Hope you're ready for a good race. It's looking like it's going to shape up to be a great one tonight. Very excited for this one. So,
yes, we're looking at dry race 2% chance of it.
Ace Guy, glad you're back. Glad to see you guys here. So, CJ, Daniel, and Huggy in 1, 2, and 3. These are all very fast starters, all very good off the line. This is going to be an exciting one. Nice.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's a long run into turn 1, so you know, whoever heads into turn 1 as the car in front is going to have a bit of an advantage there, especially going through sector 1. There's a lot of twists and bends around there.
I guess the secret through there is going to be able to navigate the S's really well, not step off the track at all. You're going to need that grip the whole way through, especially on this first lap. I guess the secret through there, as these drivers take off on their parade lap, the S's, as it were, not step off the track at all. We'll get everything set up for you guys. So P1 and around.
Oh, DJ has.
And that is an example of what can happen. Good thing that the cars go ghost here. That was about as unsafe a rejoin as you could ever have. But I imagine these drivers know what the deal is here. Is CJ? Yeah, he's going to just be able to make up his positions, correct? Good thing that the cars go ghost here.
Yeah, he was still sweating number 1. I mean, it's a good job the cars don't obviously take damage on the formation lap, because that would have been. Wow, that wouldn't have been nice if damage was on. I'd imagine that would have been him out the race before it even the lights went out. So that's probably that's maybe shaking his confidence up there for lap 1. I mean, that was only on the formation at slow speed, so they got the confidence to get it round that corner without that happening on the start of the race when he's under pressure from the back. He's going to have a lot of cars chasing him into that corner.
And that is why we say you cannot put a tire on the grass. Even in a dry race like this, that grass is not going to hold any grip for you. Websy and Cotton back in 6 and 7. These are the drivers that are closest to the leader, CJ. Both of them on medium tires, looking to make that long run in the first stint just really work for them. Is that what's going on here? 6 and 7. These are the drivers that are closest to the leader,
Yeah,
CJ.
let me I need to get myself set up here.
Copy
So,
that. Both of them on medium tires.
I mean, it depends how long. Depends how
Looking to
long you
make
could
that-
run these
that
softs for.
long
I'm not
run
actually
in the
done any
first
race
stint.
sims here, so
Just really
I'm
work
not sure
for
how
them,
long
and
you
that's
can
what's
run into the
what's
race
going
on
on.
these softs.
Looking at it from Websy's car, and these drivers are off. Everybody kind of looking for where they need to be. Everybody through the first turn beautifully. Looking at it from Websy's car. Very nicely done.
Yeah,
Everybody kind of looking for where they need to
the
be.
projected thing is going from the soft tires onto the hard pumping. So that's possible.
Everybody through the first okay, well that's an interesting thing then, right? Because doesn't that throw off the guys on the mediums right now? Like, seems like they won't have enough to. I mean, I guess they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go onto the hard tires for the second stint, right? Okay, well that's an interesting thing then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how long you could
Doesn't that throw off
potentially run the
guys
mediums
on the
in.
mediums right now? Like,
Somebody might want to try and run them a little longer
seems
to
like
see if
they
they could
won't
get the
have
softer
enough
compound
to-
on at the end. It's
I guess they're gonna
depends
have
how
to
well
go-
you could
they're gonna have
manage
to go
those
onto the
tires.
hard tires for the second stint, right?
Websy catching Rassi at 130 out. I'm trying to send it at the chicane. He thought about that.
DJ CJ crosses the line. Now Cotton is trying to looking for a move on Websy through the first corner.
We had a bit of an off for GTR Millard going through the final chicane. I'm not sure what happened there, but he has peeled into the pits. He was off the track,
And
and
he
I got
moves
onto
on to the
Humboldt.
harder compound tire. Trying to looking for a move
Oh,
on Websy.
big
Whoa!
accident
Through the first
behind
corner.
Websy.
Out of the
That
race.
put BXTN out of the race. That was that looked like 3 cars getting tangled up there. I did catch that, but I'm unsure to what actually happened.
As
cause
Twiglet takes a 3-second penalty. Out of the race. I just hit the very end of that incident, unfortunately. But that looked like a big mix-up. Trying to see. So, Miller coming out of the pits gets caught up in it. Looks like he's taking another trip into the pits for a nose change.
Yeah, it looks like you didn't expect to find BXTN's red car in the middle of the track there. It looks like he might have made contact.
Miller coming out of the pits.
What I seen on board when I jumped onto that, it looks, I'm not sure, Chip Van and BXTN might have been side by side, and then maybe not, it might have actually been Twiglet and Chip Van. One of them got turned around on the curb, I think, and BXTN might have just been an unlucky passenger behind it.
That is unfortunate, as this will certainly now put BXTN out of any mathematical probability of taking this championship. Chip Van is in the pits as wow. So Rogue was in the pits, Crisp was in the pits, Daniel's in the pits, Twiglet is still in the pits, being held of taking this championship. What just happened? Did we lose him? No, we did. Chip and Miller Rogue was in the pits, all in the pits. So from P5 down, everyone had to make a pit stop. Up in front here, CJ holds the lead. Huggy Bear is up a position. Websy is up 3 positions. So is Cotton. All in the pits. So from P5 5 down. Everyone had to make
So
a
looking
pit
back
stop.
at a clip that I've just recorded for that incident when we're behind the safety car
Up
there,
in front here,
um,
CJ holds the
it
lead.
looks like Daniel had a
Huggy
bit of
there
an
is
up
up
coming
a
around the
position.
S-bends.
Websy is up 3
Um,
positions, so is Cotton.
Then it looks like Chip Pitban lost the back end in the corner. Looks like he's collected. They've collected each other, and I think Rogue possibly involved as well. And I believe DXTN might have just been a passenger at the back that ended up being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That is really unfortunate for him. You never really want to be too mixed up in the pack in the early stages of a race. Cold tires, everybody really jockeying for position. That's a recipe for somebody losing it. And here you see that recipe has born a full-born cake. Too mixed up in the pack in the early stages of a race.
Yeah, I'd imagine that the stewards might end up looking into that this week. So it's very hard for the point of view that I've seen of the incident. It's actually hard to look and see what actually happened without seeing different POVs.
Looks like Twiglet went back into the pits for a change of tires. Looks like he accidentally went to a pair of softs when he wanted to be on the mediums. As his pit crew gets that all straightened out, he's still running P9. Millard P10. Chip is in P8 and up with the pack. Daniel P7. Down 5 positions. Chip is down 4 positions. Crisp is up 3 positions in P6. Still running P9. Rogue is holding station at in P5. Again, Cotton up 3 positions. P4. Websy up 3 positions in P3. And Huggy up 1 position in P2 with CJ leading this race. Huggy is surprisingly far back, looking to get a hard run when this goes green. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's maybe playing the team game here. He's obviously not immediately up there in the drivers' championship. So is he playing the team game of defend for the teammate, try and keep the 1-2, because if they can finish a 1-2 here in Japan, that will really help them in the constructors.
And they're off again. And I can see some merit to your team strategy here. I don't feel like Huggy is pushing as hard as he is normally known to do. They're off again.
Yeah, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. We've got Chris in the gravel truck.
Looks like Crisp is struggling to handle those medium tires. Or those hard tires.
Yeah, I think Huggy knows that the chances of him getting up there to win the Drivers' Championship over so isn't great. Not impossible though, as you say. But as for the constructors goes, to win as many points as you get, because I highly suspect that Alfa Romeo may be crowned the constructors' champions in the next couple of races.
Taking a...
As it stands now, Alfa Romeo has a 154 point lead in the constructors at this point.
Yes, looking at that now, that is really...
You know that?
Really some hard teamwork there.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do some mathematics on that, because that, after this race, I mean, I've not looked at the mathematics for that, but it's highly possible that they could be the Constructors' Championship, if not after this race, potentially next race. That's a big
Indeed,
lead in
I will
front of
definitely have
Volkswagen.
that math for you guys next week. Websy is looking to pressure Huggy Bear though.
Yeah, I seen DJ run a little bit wider than I think he would have wanted at that last.
Cotton really runs it up the inside of Websy. I didn't see any damage. I didn't see any pieces flying anywhere. And Cotton's gonna pay for it as Rogue is able to get by him to move himself up into P4. That's gonna allow Websy to breathe a little bit easier, as his main rivalry for points right now is Cotton. I didn't see any pieces flying anywhere. And Cotton's gonna pay for it as Rogue is able to get by him. Whoa!
Yeah, that was
I just saw Cotton go straight through the through the last chicane there. Luckily, didn't take anyone out. He loses another position and gets a penalty, and now is really far behind Daniel. Whoa! I just saw Cotton go straight through the last chicane there.
I just seen that on the
Luckily,
screen.
didn't take anyone out. He loses another position and gets a penalty.
Yeah, not sure what that is. Not sure what to make of that.
Now
But
is really far behind Daniel.
that could have ended
That really
very
could.
badly.
He was like a missile through there. Surprised he was able to avoid anybody making contact with anybody. That really could. If I'm not mistaken, we should be coming up on the first time that DRS is being enabled in this race. If it was before, I missed it.
Yeah, we should be getting that. Yeah, I don't think
If
we.
I'm not mistaken, we should.
I think
be
we might have had it
coming
on the
up
lap the crash was on, but I think it activated.
the
But
first time that
right. Obviously didn't get back to there, but it was safety
enabled
car.
in this
So
race. And Websy with DRS. If it was before, I
Right, yes.
missed it. With a super simple pass on the Huggy Bear. Huggy not making it difficult for him at all. And Websy with DRS.
Miller, the Luton, try and make his way
With a
past the chip
super
run,
simple pass on the Huggy Bear.
and then he's
Huggy
got
not
a
making it
twig like hot in his
difficult for him
tail
at
as well.
all. Alert looking very close. Coming up on the hairpin now. Not able to make it happen there. But the run to 130 yards is going to be a really big opportunity for him. Coming up on the hairpin now.
Yeah, chip run obviously on the harder tyre. I mean, I wonder if these hard tyre runners are actually
Not able
thinking
to
about
make it
trying to
happen
push these
there.
tyres all the way to the end.
But the run Hey Buxton, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Is going to be a really big opportunity for him.
As Mr. DJ dives into the pits on that lap.
That moves Rogue up to P3. Glad you could make it. Cotton able to make his way back to P4.
And Miller does get the job done on chip run as well, going into turn 1.
That That moves Rogue up to P3. You said it at the beginning of this race that there is a rival between Twiglet and Chip Van, so we are about to see that play out here on track, it looks like. You said it at the beginning of this race that
Yeah, I think
there
it's
is a rival
I
between
think it's Miller.
Twiglet and Chip Van, so
I can't even remember who
we are about
teammates
to
are
see
on the
that
Sunday Night League.
play out here on track.
Oh, Mr.
It looks
DJ's had
like-
a big off as he's coming at the pits on the cold tyres. He's spun it round.
Wow.
That is probably going to cost him. Looks like he's the rear of the car did make contact with the wall, so hopefully he's not picked up any damage off that.
His rear tires are looking okay. I didn't see a flat spot. Wow.
His teammate Huggy is going to dive into the pits and get this stop out the way.
Expecting him to go onto the hard tires as well. His rear tires are looking okay. As Daniel gets a 3-second penalty.
Cotton very close to the back of the
Let's jump to that view. Expecting him to go onto the hard tires as well. As Daniel gets a 3-second penalty. Looks like he's going to be really close through the hairpin here. Let's jump to that view. Looks like he's going to
Mr.
be really close
DG
through the
has spun
hairpin
it
here.
again in sector 1. This is not
At
going
all.
well for him. This is not the race he needed.
He will score at least 1 point today, though. So here's a big chance for Cotton on Rogue. He will score at least. Rogue hugs it.
Ozzy McLaren starts harvesting. That's not what
Cotton
we
is
wanted.
by without issue. Rogue holding on to him though. Chance for Cotton on Rogue. But he's got very little in that battery right now. He's going to have to do a lot more harvesting as he tries to make up a lot of it through these S's. Rogue holding on to
While
him though.
these two are fighting, that's giving Daniel the perfect opportunity to get onto the back of Rogue's rear
But
wing.
he's got very
Be a
little
part
in
of
that
this
battery
fight.
right now. He's going to have to do a lot more harvesting as he tries to make up a lot of it through this. Are we at a point now where these hard tires are outperforming these medium tires?
Yeah, we might be getting to the point where the mediums are. They might either be in that little graining stage in the middle,
Are
or
we at a point now where these
the
hard
mediums
tires are
maybe-
outperforming these medium tires?
yeah, they may be gone already. I suppose it depends how hard you've been fighting people as well.
Daniel made up a lot of time on Rogue through there.
Yeah, Rogue not getting the ideal line through that chicane, running a little bit wide on the entry to the first part.
Both drivers with DRS and both drivers harvesting down that straight. A lot of time on Rogue through there.
Oh, Daniel nearly has an off there on the curb. Big snap on the steering to get that
Both
car back into
drivers
check.
with DRS and both drivers. Websy takes a 3-second penalty, multiple warnings, as does Rogue and Millard. Crisp is coming out of the pits. Lebsy takes a 3-second penalty, multiple
So
warnings.
Rogue now at the point where he's not within DRS range to get the DRS for Cotton in front, meaning he's going to be a sitting duck on the next DRS straight.
Crisp is coming out of the pits. He really needs to put some power back into his batteries. There's an incident in Sector 1. Cotton is into the pits.
That's
He
Crisp
really
that's
needs to
managed
put
to
some
spin it
power
in the
back into
gravel
his
pit.
batteries. There's an incident in Sector 1. Cotton is into the pits.
Looks like Crisp's having a few issues back here.
Cotton is into the pits.
Manages to
Out on the
recover
soft
the car.
tires. What?
Oh, we've had another off. We've had GTR Millard in Sector 1. Sector 1, it seems to be these curves on Sector 1 that's catching the drivers.
And that is definitely what you mentioned earlier in the race, or at the start of this race.
Sorry, Millard struggling to get the car back.
That
More
is definitely what
interesting
you
with
mentioned,
Daniel and Rogue
earlier
are
in the
very
race, or
close, coming down to
start of this
130
race.
hours.
Now through 130R, are you worrying about being too close to the car in front of you? Worrying about it washing your front end out?
Yeah, you don't want to be too close in case you get caught in that dirty air. Because the last thing you
Now
want is
through 130R, are you
that
worrying
front end washing out
about
and
being
then
too close to the car in front of you? Worrying about
yeah, it's
it washing
not
your
nice.
front end out?
Oh, what's happened to Miller back there? But I did just clock him getting a 10-second penalty for cutting a corner.
That has to be a big corner cut for 10 seconds.
That's just made a massive cut to get into the pits, which I'm assuming possibly going to
And there he goes.
Yeah.
That has to be a big corner cut for 10 I think seconds. Daniel's really trying to size up Rogue right now. Trying to figure out where exactly he can go for a pass. And there he goes.
Yeah, that Daniel could be playing the mind game here that he knows Rogue has got to stop
Daniel's
again.
Really trying to size up
I can't
Rogue
see
right now.
Rogue being able to go to the end on
figure
those
out
mediums.
where exactly he can go for a pass. You'll remember last week, Rogue didn't have a lot of luck on his tire strategy either.
Job's got to be done here, surely. No? Yeah.
Daniel able to get it done. Last week, Rogue didn't have a lot of luck on his tire strategy either.
So I mean, I would say in the next couple of laps we are within the window. These medium runners could put the softs on and get to the end of the race on those.
So what are you thinking around laps 17, 18? As Twiglet is out of this race.
Yeah, try to get on board. The same place again. The sector 1S Benz is the full safety car is deployed onto the track. This will help Mr. DJ for sure.
As
For the
Twiglet
last
is out of
few
this
laps.
race.
It will also give these people a chance. I think we're going to see some pit stops with a soft compound tyre right now.
Mm.
I think it'd be silly not to take this free pit stop and get a set of softs on that. I think you can take the softs all the way to the end for this lap.
That is going to be a lot of laps, but what an interesting race this is looking like is going to turn out to be. As Websy first to dive into the pits.
Unless anybody's got a new set of mediums in the bank and feel comfortable on them. We did see there was a lot of speed on
Daniels
mediums
into the
all
pit,
line,
so was Rogue. What an interesting race this is looking like it's going to turn out to be.
Websy to the hard compound.
As Websy first to dive into That's surprising. Daniel to the mediums.
Daniel boots on mediums.
Daniels into the pit, so was Rogue.
Rogue as well on the mediums, I believe.
Chip Vans on the mediums. That's surprising. Huggy Bear making his way in now. He goes to the mediums. Daniel to the mediums.
It looks like everybody's no, Cotton is choosing a set of softs, but looks like he's got a penalty to serve. I think that's from that penalty he picked up at the last game.
Right, right.
Goes straight on.
Huggy Bear making his way in now.
But he will be able to catch up to the back of the pack. And on the soft, the only person on the soft compound. Where's Mr. No, Mr. DJ Boots a set of mediums on his car.
Right, right.
So Cotton really looking to push for speed through this final section of the race. The only person on softs, whereas Websy is the only person on the hard compound.
I'm surprised.
Get some data here.
Crisp goes back in.
I do believe Websy didn't have much of a choice because he was on the mediums and hadn't made his mandatory stop yet. So obviously not got a lot of trust at the soft compound to go to the end, choosing the hards for safety.
Is it safe though? These tires are going to be cold. They're going to be really slippery, and we've seen all race long how they are not handling Sector 1 very well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we've seen all tires so far have a bit of open Sector 1.
They're going to be really slippery. We've seen all race long.
The biggest problem for Websy is everybody behind them is going to go on a softer compound, and well, they're right behind them on the restart, so that's it's going to be a challenge to see if he can get a good getaway on the restart and see if he can get a bit of a gap. But the people behind are on the softer compound, and you would expect them to
looking
be faster.
Up towards Websy from Rogue's car, and Websy is really using the entire track trying to get some heat into those hard compound tires. Looking up towards Websy from We are on lap 17 now. Really using the entire track trying to get some heat. I wonder if anybody is rethinking their choices. If the safety car is out for one more lap, will anybody make a change? We are on lap 17 now.
Yeah, I mean we're 10 laps to the end now.
If
personally, if I'm sitting in one of those cars at this point in my mind, it's a soft tyre.
The safety car is out one more lap.
The soft tyre should go 10 laps. I'm a bit surprised that there's only one driver actually chosen to go on these softs.
Can Cotton make those softs work to his advantage with DJ CJ sitting right behind him?
The problem with Cotton as well, Cotton's sitting on a lot of penalties. He's got 18 seconds worth of penalties in the bank when he crosses the line.
Well, that's going to do nothing good for him. With DJ CJ sitting right behind him.
Everybody else with a penalty apart from Cotton is currently only on a 3-second penalty when they cross the line.
Last chance. Nothing good for
We're getting another one.
Every looks
Somebody dived,
Rogue.
somebody dived. Rogue dived to the pits. He knows these softs
and
can
there he
do it.
goes onto the softs. Last chance.
Chris the last. Is he going to give it a try? No, Chris passes the pit lane, so Rogue, the only driver taking that last opportunity to put these softs on. Rogue knows these can go to the end, and he'll know that they'll have some better speed.
To the softs. So now, Cotton and Rogue sitting on the soft tires. Difference being Cotton is sitting on 18 seconds worth of penalties.
Yeah, that's not what you want. I mean, to me that's the perfect strategy choice that he's got. But those penalties are going to hurt when he crosses the line. That's not going to help in the title.
It
right
really
either.
isn't. 18 seconds worth of penalties.
We should safety car, I'd imagine, should be coming in at the end of this lap.
It really isn't. I think at this point, Websy must really be begging for the safety car to go in so that he can drive his car at speed and generate a lot more heat into those tires.
Yeah, it looks like he's scrambling to get a lot of heat in those. Yep, the lights are out on the safety car, so Websy will pick up the pace of the pack. And yeah, it's up to Websy when he releases and goes. It's hard to tell the best place to actually release and go down this track though. He's going to have a lot of drivers breathing down his neck.
There he goes.
And I believe he's gone at the final chicane.
Looks like it was a great place. He does put some distance between himself and Daniel, but Daniel looks like he's clawing it back. This is where Websy absolutely cannot make any mistakes for the rest of this race. Between himself and Daniel, but Daniel looks like he's clawing it back. Look, Websy is driving in anger right now. He puts that second between him that he needs. It falls back a little bit, but Websy is really trying to distance himself right now.
Yeah, he's got 2 laps to get that gap up and keep it over the DRS reactivating.
Right now, he puts that second between him that he needs. It falls back a little bit, but Websy is really trying to. Chip Van trying to hold on to Daniel. Huggy is falling back a little bit from Chip. The first 4 driver is suffering from the same penalties, so it's all to play for them. Van trying to hold on to Daniel. Cotton in P5. Huggy is falling back. Really looking to make something happen. I just don't think there's enough time left in this race for that. Driver is suffering from the same penalties.
No.
So it's all to play for them.
It's unfortunate.
Cotton in P5. Really looking to make something happen. DJ CJ, the only driver in the field right now without a penalty. Really looking to get past Cotton so that he can make some inroads on these front runners. CJ, the only
Yeah,
driver
I would
in
expect
field
if we
right
get
now
to the point where
without a
DJ's
penalty,
behind Huggy Bear, I think they might invert the cars
really looking
and
to get past
let DJ go.
Cotton
Um,
so that he can make some
for the
inroads
better
on
of the
these
championship, I
front
suppose you would
runners.
say. But yeah, he's got to clear Cotton first. Yeah, be able to do that if that's what the plan is. And we've got Rogue behind them, just looking to potentially pick up any scraps.
So, in your opinion, is DJ CJ feeling a little bit desperate right now? Like he really needs to make something big happen and fast?
Yeah, he'll be wanting to try and clear these cars as fast as he can. I think
So in
most
your opinion,
surprisingly,
is DJ CJ
DJ's in the
feeling a
wall,
little bit desperate right now? Like he really needs to make
pushing
something
maybe a bit
big
too
happen
hard there.
and fast?
Virtual safety cars out, so they have to reduce their speed. I think it's by 40%. Yeah, that's not what DJ needed. That he's not. I believe it's the same corner that he had an issue with earlier on as well.
You can tell he just has zero grip without that front wing, as if this track wasn't difficult enough before.
More surprisingly, just before that happened, what I was about to say was, surprisingly on the hardest compound on the track, Websy has just picked up the fastest lap of the race, which obviously buys you the extra championship point if you can keep that. I didn't expect the hards would be putting in those kind of
I
times.
am pretty
at this stage in
surprised.
the race.
I'm guessing CJ is going to go in for the soft compounds and try and destroy that dream of Websy's for that fast lap.
Yeah, Mr. DJ really needs that extra point, but he's got to fight for it off of that. Cotton and Rogue's threat for the fastest lap here on the soft compound. It's Cotton getting past Huggy Bear on the restart. It looked like he waited alongside him until they passed the green flag getting waved to the end of the virtual safety car. As DJ picks up 5 seconds.
That is unfortunate.
In the pits. He's not having a good race this week.
Wow.
Websy has managed to peel a 2-second gap at the
I'm actually amazed on those tires on this track on this day. I wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah, if he can keep it for these final few laps, that's one hell of a drive on those tyres. And it's not often I'd say that about Websy because he was my biggest rival when I used to race. So
this day,
he seems to be able to get these tyres turned on and where they need to be.
Looking back from Websy's car, he can just barely see Daniel's car back there. So I imagine he's feeling pretty comfortable right now.
And we have Courtney Goblin picking up the fastest lap of the race with 1:31.
DJ CJ also on the soft compound tires now. But I think right now the first thing he's going to have to do is get out of his own head. Try and clear away all this mess that's happened before and drive the way he knows he can drive. DJ CJ also on the soft compound tires now. But I think right now the first thing he's going to have to do is get out of his own head. Unfortunately, Rogue drops time to Huggy. Not within that 1 second.
Cotton desperately looking for a way past Chip Van, trying to get as much time back as he can, just because
Unfortunately, Rogue drops
he knows
time
he's got
to
18
Huggy,
seconds. He needs to get as far up the road
now
as he
within
can,
that
so this
1
penalty
second.
isn't as harsh. I mean, right now, a rough calculation, this is going to drop him back to P7.
Yes, only CJ will not pass him off of this time penalty that he has.
It's a lot closer to Chip
We
Van.
know that Cotton's car is always fast in a straight line. I believe he could have done that without the DRS right there if he had to. With 3 full laps to go, Cotton's car is always fast in a straight line. Everybody is still well within his time penalty except for DJ CJ.
A 130.7 Mr. DJ to take that championship point, but is somebody going to try and take that back again?
So if you're Websy right now, you're not looking to get that point, right?
No, Webbsy's got to concentrate, faultless drive to the line, he's in a good position. He's somehow got those hard tyres, turned on everybody on the faster compound behind, and yeah, Webbsy's got to think that 25 points, play the safe game here, don't push the limits, don't take any chances, just cruise home, have a nice little Sunday drive to the line and pick up those 25 points, you should be happy with it.
Okay, so Daniel in P2, if he can get that fastest lap, that is just going to help him get closer to Websy, and he would hope to put him in a position to pass. So he's going for it, right?
Yeah, he's all out for this. He's got the tyres to do it as well.
If he can get that fastest lap,
fresh tyres.
You
don't have to do that many laps on them. You can push them as hard as you want. As long as you fueled the car up enough. Obviously seen that a couple of weeks ago with Cotton run out of fuel. I think it was 2 laps before the end, so Mr. DJ looking to make sure that he keeps that fast.
As Websy goes around!
6 is Websy spun! That's not what Websy needed, that was...
Oh, that's unfortunate! So Cotton is just purely in damage control right now, trying to get up as far up the field as he possibly can. Oh, that's unfortunate.
So Websy has not picked damage up from that, from what I can see.
So Cotton is just purely in damage control right now.
No shareability, fully
far up the field as he possibly can.
On with on lap 26, so that's unfortunate. That's Wedge's got to be kicking himself. That's it's not what you want to happen in your final few laps.
Websy really pushing his car. Looks like...
Yeah, the Chip Pan being a reserve driver, Chip Pan's a reserve driver, so the classification will obviously change at the end, so... I mean, Huggy's looking potentially at a net P2 right now. And that would put Rogue as third on the podium as well.
As a reserve driver, Chip Van's got to be happy about this drive he's having right now.
Yeah, solid drive. I've raced him in a Sunday night league and he is a good driver. You're going to see him move from cutting here, but Daniel managing to break that slipstream here on the run up to turn one, but yeah, late dived in the inside and Cotton's lost it. Too much on the curb there.
Cotton with a safe rejoin. That was good on him.
So many drivers just not having the best of luck around
And it's
here.
almost all been this first sector.
Yeah, sector 1 seems to be the toughest part of the track here.
Good on him.
Yeah, it's one wheel in the wrong place and it's gone, and if it happens, it effectively you're a passenger in the car.
Almost all been this first sector.
Last lap here, I mean, Daniel's been absent as chip van. Ah, Jesus, man, that was well healthy chip van round there. That was a nice drift, but yeah, I mean, we're coming up to the line. Daniel's been absent for a few races, unable to attend, and looks like he's came back to make a point.
Definitely looks that way as Daniel is about to cross the line in P1. Congratulations to him. Chip Van P2, Huggy P3, Rogue P4, Websy P5, Chris P6, and Cotton P7 with DJ CJ rounding up the back of the field in P8, able to snatch that extra point for the fastest lap. P6 and Cotton P7. I've got to admit, I'm surprised. I did not expect that Sector 1 would be doing so much damage to these drivers today. That extra point for the fastest lap.
Yeah, the few laps are done. Sector 1 is very unforgiving.
I've got to admit, I'm surprised. I did not expect as Daniel raises the trophy.
It all comes down to everybody wants to put that extra wheel. They want to get every millisecond out the lap to be fastest, and sometimes that means getting on the curb, and it's a risky take at the end of the day, isn't it?
What a race. That was fun. One big incident, a couple of smaller ones that involved other drivers, or at least took drivers out. I'm Mr. DJ CJ with the fastest lap of 130.6. Everyone else in the 131s, at least. Smaller ones that involved other drivers. What'd you think of this race? Or at least took drivers out.
Yeah, that was a nice race.
Mr. DJ CJ.
Sector 1 was the most challenging for drivers around here, and they did catch a lot of people out.
At least.
I mean, we've seen great drives from a lot of these drivers today. Cotton didn't have the right drive today. Just not had the best of luck there. But the worst luck I think's come down to Mr. DJ CJ. He's had the worst luck this week. And then obviously Webbsy's got to be kicking himself. Only a couple of laps to go and turning it round at that hairpin, and apart from that, it's faultless driving. As you say, a couple of incidents here, but apart from that, it was all clean, respectful racing. And yeah, some drivers were lucky, some were unlucky, and Daniel obviously coming back for a long absence, proving a point here that he's still got it. He's still fast, and yeah, interesting to see how he takes this forward.
So, do you feel like any driver really stood out for you today?
some drivers were lucky, some were unlucky, and Daniel obviously coming back from a long absence, there's quite a few drivers that stands out there. Still got it. He's still fast. I think obviously Huggy's had a good drive up there. He will
So do
be
you feel like
classified
any
P2.
driver really stood out for you today?
Rogue P3 as well. There's so many drivers that's had a good drive. I mean, quite a few drivers that stands out. Even Daniel's Daniel managed to keep his nerve there and put the car where it
He
needed to
did,
be.
he did.
So it's a hard pick for
I think so. I feel like Websy also had a really good drive right up into the end there. Really managing to put some distance between himself and everyone on those hard tires at the end of the race. I found that surprising, to say the least.
Yeah,
So I feel like Websy also had
that was
really
a
good
solid
drive
drive
right
from
up
Webbs.
into the
It's
end
just
there.
very unfortunate that
Really managing to
he lost it on
put
the
some
hairpin when he
distance
did.
between
So
himself and everyone
that
on
was
those hard
definitely
tires at
Webbs's
the
race
end
to
of the
win,
race.
and
I
it looked
found
like
that
he
surprising,
effectively
to
had it
say
in the
the
bag at that
least.
point. How he managed to keep those hards in the range they needed to be to beat the faster compounds, that's really good. I don't know how he's done that. So yeah, solid drive from Webbs there.
Websy going from the medium to the hards, one stop. Everybody else making at least two, some of them three. Man,
Yeah, that was
Websy going
I think
from
a
the
hard pick
medium
for
to the
driver
hard.
as well
I have
this
to
week, I
agree
think.
with you. Big congratulations to Daniel, though. That was one heck of a drive. And if you're just looking at the stats here, it wouldn't look like he did much. Two stops, taking first from second on the grid, but he really worked his car today, and he should be happy and actually very proud of the drive that he had. That was very impressive. Congratulations to you. At the stats here, it wouldn't look like he did much. Two stops.
Yeah, solid comeback drive from there from Daniel. Hopefully, many more to see.
But he really worked his car today, and he should be happy and actually very proud of the drive that he had. That was very impressive. With that being said, and with no one jumping into the chat, anything you want to say to close out today?
Yeah, solid comeback drive from there from Daniel. Hopefully, many more to see. I mean, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you had as much fun as we did commentating on this.
With that being said,
interesting
and with
race.
no
It's
one jumping into the
obviously
chat, anything you
the
want to say
people that needed to
close
score
out
high
today?
didn't finish where they needed to be today. So that's going to make some changes in the drivers' championship. It won't be as easy now because Mr. DZ obviously
I think that
needing to finish.
that's the most shocking thing is where everyone finished. We were expecting Websy and Cotton to really push and really try to come and do that first, win the race, and of course they did that. I'm not saying that they didn't, but for them not to, and then DJ CJ falling all the way to the back of the grid the way he did. This is really going to shake things up. To come and do that first, win the race.
Yeah, especially moving into the next few tracks.
But for them not to,
we're obviously next week.
falling
We're racing at your side of the pond over in the United States. So
this is really going to shake things up.
that can be quite a technical track, that, but it's a nice flowing track if you can get the rhythm around it. And then obviously from there we'll move on to Mexico and Brazil. Brazil being a lot of drivers' favourites, but I'd have to say Brazil's going to be prone to a
This
wet
is
race.
true.
So yeah, everybody at the top of the championship probably looking to score maximum points going into USA and Mexico. Try and get the job done, try and get this wrapped up, and so they can enjoy the rest of the season. We will obviously have to do that calculation before we come back next week to USA and see where the constructors actually are. I mean, I didn't notice there was that much of a gap there, so um, yeah, we should take that information next week for USA and. I'm not expecting any shock surprises at USA, but I've not driven the track, so I'd say maybe the most complex part to look for next week will probably be Sector 1 again, because you do have the S-bends. There is quite a tricky corner as you approach Sector 2 as you go up the hill, and you've got that right-left, it's a bit like a chicane just before you go down the hill. So I think a lot of these drivers obviously learning for Sector 1 this week won't be wanting to go into next week looking to make the same
And I
mistake.
feel like the times that I've driven here in the U.S., excuse me, I've always felt like the track was flat as far as camber goes, so nothing really helping you around those corners.
No, I mean obviously you've got quite
And I
up
feel
into
like
turn
the
1.
times that I've driven
It's
here
quite a
in the
wide
US,
turn, so you're going up the hill.
I've always felt like
And as
the
you get
track
to the
was
top of the
flat
hill and you're
as
looking for
far
that
as,
apex,
camber goes,
there's still a
so
lot of
nothing
track
really
there. I
helping
mean,
you around those corners.
I'd have to say USA at turn 1, it's got to be possible to put like 5 or 6
Right,
cars wide
right.
in that turn. But you do, when you come up to the exit of turn 1, it does drag you out onto the right side, so I think it could be an interesting race that next week. We've obviously seen USA not long ago in the real F1 and seen what can happen, so
Right.
how boisterous do these drivers want to be and how much do they want the championship?
And that is the big question. How much do you want it? How hungry are these drivers? They're going to have to really try and feed next week to make up for what went down today. But if there is nothing else, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Do we have any seats available for people? They're going to have to really try and feed next week to make up.
Yeah, I do believe we have a couple of available seats in the league, so anybody looking to join a league on the Xbox,
But
hit me up on Xbox. It's
I want to thank
Evil
everyone
Scotsman,
for joining us.
all one word, all capitals,
do we have
swapping the
any seats
O and the I
available for people?
for numbers in Scotsman. I'll post my gamer tag for anybody in the comment that's interested. Come along, have the fun. Season 11 will be starting not long after Christmas, so get yourself in early, get a seat secured for next season, and you never know, it could be you fighting up the front for that Season 11 Drivers World
If you're going to jump
Championship.
in, now is definitely the time. You can use the rest of the season to as just practice sessions, and then go into next season feeling all warmed up and ready, raring to go. So I want to thank you, Evil, for once again joining me here in the commentators box. You're going to be with us next week, right? Definitely the time. You can use the rest of the season to.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be driving the car again. I think the only time I may drive the car is one last hurrah at Jeddah, which will be the last race of the season. So I'm quite enjoying my time here in the commentary box with you, and I think we can make this more of a permanent thing because.
Awesome, that's what I was hoping to hear. Good times. Great to have a fresh driver here in the commentary box, letting us know what these drivers are thinking and doing out there. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us. This has been Bouchin, and you know me, I'm Ghost. 2 fingers is peace. Later. Good times. Great to have a